or the initial budgets for this is approximately 160,000 per unit. We are per unit. We are looking into this units, initially 1,100 shelters for the initial 10-hectare land that was approved already for the transitional site. But we are looking into doing a 14-hectare site, which will be probably around 1,500 units.
Ma'am, are these enough for the displaced residents? Because there are over 200,000, if I remember correctly.
This is an initial, and this is only transitional sites. Remember, hindi po ito para lang sa transitional shelters. We have permanent shelter housing as well. So hindi lang ito yung pinaplano natin na housing. And there are also other areas that we are discussing with our local government on other areas pa na ba pwede natin pagtayuan na ating sites. Meron na tayong iba pa no, na other ilang hectares din ng land, like with the discussion with the Mindanao State University. Meron din tayong tinitignan na area dyan. But as of this time, hindi pa natin nakikita kung gaano talaga in total. Ito, initial pa lamang ito. Habang hindi pa naman tapos no, yung ating conflict in Marawi City, tinitignan na natin na yung initial na pwede natin gawin, magbibuild na tayo.
Thank you.
Okay, Rose Tubenario.
Ay, good morning, ma'am. Ano po yung, kasi sabi nyo kanina mga hanggang 3 years pa ito. So ano po yung plano natin sa mga internally displaced persons magmula po ngayon hanggang doon sa 3 taon na sinasabi nyo? Kaya po bang sustinahan ng pamahalaan yung kanilang lahat ng pangangailangan? At saan po manggagaling yung budget?
Yung pong sinasabi natin na 2 to 3 years, ito po sinasabi yung development mismo no, ng Marawi City. And looking into the situation, tinitignan naman natin, initial din naman nagsabi na tayo, ang unang budget na tinignan natin was 5 billion for the initial help that we will be given to our IDPs. Yung ginawa natin na ngayon ng mga pondo na kinukuha natin, yung bawat government agency natin, meron po tayo sinet aside na mga pondo, depende dun sa role mo, dun sa Bangon Marawi natin na task force. Na meron tayong pondo na binibigay dyan at nilalagay. At we are still exploring. Based on our executive committee meeting last Wednesday, sinabi din ng the Department of Budget and Management na tinitignan din natin baka meron tayong ma-source out sa mga savings ng ating mga departments. No, ito yung mga tinitignan at explore natin para ma-sustain yung ating pagbibigay ng ayuda sa ating mga kababayan na nandun ngayon sa Iligan at yung other pa ng mga areas sa evacuation centers. At bukod doon, meron din tayo na tinitignan pa ng mga programa, kaya meron tayo na rebuilding ng communities, meron din tayong livelihood para sa kanila. So initially, meron nang magagamit ng ating mga kababayan na nag-evacuate dahil sa conflict na.
Kasama po ba dun sa psychosocial intervention yung anti-terrorism seminar para imulat po yung ating mga Marawi residents dun sa sa masamang epekto ng terorismo sa bansa at sa kanilang kabuhayan?
Actually, siguro hindi nyo lang po napapansin, no? Hindi lang naman kasi natin dinadub yan na o anti-terrorism na psychosocial intervention ito. But in the psychosocial intervention, what are we looking into is that yung pagtitingin no, at pagbibigay respeto natin sa kultura ng ating mga kababayan, ng ating mga Maranaw. Bukod doon ay yung pagtitingin na rin natin, no, sinasabi natin, kaya moral recovery, no, yung ating psychosocial intervention. Ito rin yung pagtitingin natin na sinasabi natin na pagmumulat sa mata ng ating mga kabataan ng masamang epekto ng armed conflict. So isa to sa mga programa not only for psychosocial interventions, so that's not only mental health and psychosocial services, but we're doing this in partnership with the Department of Education and also the Philippine Information Agency para meron pa tayong ma-develop na mga materials that we could share for our IDPs para maiwasan na yung ganitong sitwasyon.
So, ma'am, sa opinion po ninyo, simpleng armed conflict lang ba yung terorismo?
Hindi po simpleng armed conflict po ito. No, ang sinasabi po natin, hindi lamang po isa yan sa ina-address natin na sitwasyon ngayon. Hindi lang siya pinapangalanan na anti-terrorism. No, meron po tayo iba't ibang programa, kaya po yung mga activities na ginagawa natin para sa ating mga pamilya, may counseling po tayo, meron pong art therapies, at iba pa po no, na mga interventions na ginagawa ng ating mga health workers and ating mga social workers para po dun sa ating mga communities, para po maiwasan yung ganitong similar na sitwasyon.
Kasi po, sabi ni Presidente, kaya inilunsad yung pag-atake sa kaya inilunsad yung ginagawa nila sa Marawi dahil dun sa terorismo. So siguro po kailangan maimulat naman kahit sa mga bata yung ano ba yung terorismo, di ba? Hindi lang simpleng armed conflict.
What I was saying is hindi
kasi
lang
last time kung hindi po ako nagkamali, parang last month, parang yung mga bata, parang nagkaroon sila ng Stockholm Syndrome, di ba? Na parang iniidolo na nila yung mga maute, may mga ganung ulat. Kaya ako naitanong yun.
Opo. Actually, ang sinabi ko lang po, hindi lang po dinadub yung, kumbaga ba, hindi lang po pangangalanan siya na anti-terrorism tong kampanya at pagka-counsel natin sa ating mga kabataan. But this is part doon sa ating pagmumulat ng mata ng ating mga kabataan na masamang epekto nito. Hindi lang natin siya pinapangalanan na anti-terrorism move ito. Parang ganun lamang po.
Okay.
Yung pangalan lamang po ng intervention.
Thank you.
Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN.
Good morning, ma'am.
And-
Ma'am, you said that it would take approximately 2 to 3 years to rebuild Marawi. How did we get that estimate po? And what would that rebuilding entail?
Okay, ang sabi ko nga, Pia, this is initial, no? Yung from the outside pa natin nakikita to. Hindi pa naman nakakapasok ang ating assessment team. Remember, hindi pa natin kompleto ang ating post-conflict needs assessment. Ito, initial nakikita natin kasi nung base dun sa ating usapin, ay nakikita natin na hindi maganda kung ire-repair lang. Kung sira-sira yung bahay mo, repair na lang natin. Mas maganda talaga magre-rebuild tayo. At meaning, ang ibig sabihin nito talaga, yung mga sirang mga buildings, sirain na lang yung completely, tatayuan natin ng bago. So yun yung nakita na initial assessment ng mga engineers natin and the architects that we were discussing the rebuilding with. And itong sinasabi pa natin na tuloy na ating mga programa, hopefully kapag nakapagkompleto na tayo ng ating rehabilitation and recovery plan, mas magkakaroon na tayo ng mas malinaw pa na picture yung mga rebuilding na nakikita natin para sa ating sa Marawi City at yung other communities na naapektuhan.
So there's a possibility, ma'am, na mas matagal yung rebuilding once we get the complete picture.
It is possible, depende sa magiging resulta or even earlier. Depende yon sa ating magiging resulta ng ating assessment ng mga assessment teams natin.
Ma'am, there was a suggestion before na completely iwanan na lang yung Marawi and then rebuild a new city from scratch. So ano na po ang naging desisyon ng Task Force Marawi on that?
And then, alam mo, ongoing naman yung ating consultation. No? Kasama sa ating task force are the local government units, ARMM, Lanao del Norte, Lanao del Sur. The governor is part of the task force as well. May mga gusto sana tayo na parang iwanan natin yung mapait nating nakaraan, mag-rebuild tayo ng bago. Pero marami pa rin sa ating mga kababayan na ayaw kong iwanan ang lugar kung saan ako lumaki, kung saan ako nagmulat ng aking mga mata. So are actually ongoing consultations. Kaya ang ginagawa natin, we go to the IDPs, we go to the families. Ito yung nakikita natin ngayon, ito yung sitwasyon ngayon. Anong gusto nyo? Magkukonsulta kami sa inyo. No, sila ang magde-decide dito. Hindi ito decision ng government. This ongoing ang ating consultations because we would want to rebuild Marawi City better if we are to rebuild it. Kung sa ibang lugar yan, that will be a call of the IDPs, of those affected, kung ano yung nangyari sa lugar na yan.
Okay, questions? About Bangon? Daila, you have question? Then, okay na. Rose Cos.
Hi ma'am, good morning ma'am Nina. Regarding po dun sa transitional shelters, may timeline ba kung kailan na pwedeng patirhan na sa mga displaced residents?
Actually, Rose, ang currently na nangyari doon is yung curing pa lamang ng flooring. Kasi pati yung access roads natin, nung tinignan kasi ng ating mga engineers, pag asfalto ang gagamitin, Cagayan de Oro is the closest area na panggagalingan nito. Pag nag-transport ka from Cagayan de Oro to the transitional shelter site, titigas na. No, lalamig na masyado yung asfalto, hindi na natin magagamit. So sinabi, kailangan ngayon semento. Pag sinabi natin semento, may curing to, pinakamabilis na ito mga 2 weeks. No, so currently, nagle-lay down para tayo ng ground. May mga target dates na rin tayo initially na pag-usapan natin sa pangunguna ng ating HUD seat chair, Del Rosario, na sabi nga niya, hopefully, baka by the end of October, masastart na natin makita itong mga bahay na to. Pero ayaw natin kasi magbigay ng, ng mga hope sa ating mga kababayan. Depende pa rin ito sa weather, no? Depende pa rin sa magiging epekto pa na iba pang mga sitwasyon. So, ang sinasabi natin, hopefully, by the end of this year, meron na tayo mga pamilya na nakatira na sa ating mga transitional shelters.
And then ma'am, may mga IDPs din po na nagsasuggest na kung po pwede po silang manirahan sa ibang lugar aside from...
Yes, yes.
Ano po ang tugon ng mga local government units? Open po ba silang kupkupin na po yung pong mga Marawi residents?
This is an ongoing discussions with all our local government units kung saan na napupusuan nila no, na sila ay makakalipat. At hindi lamang kasi yun ang tinitignan natin. Tinitignan natin is how the government could also help them. No, magtatayo tayo ng mga permanent shelters kung saan-saan lugar na ito. We will be able to give you a clearer picture kapag natapos na no, at nakompleto na nating ating rehabilitation and recovery plan.
Okay, MPC. Other issue. Pia Ranyada.
For Spokesabella, you said yesterday the president mentioned that he wiretapped certain narco politicians and that he mentioned he might have listened into conversations of Iloilo City Mayor Jed Mabilog. Could we just confirm if it was Jed Mabilog he wiretapped or was it Mayor Parohinog?
That's something that we have to clarify.
And then, sir, when he said all were tapped, did he mean all of the people in his drug list were tapped? What does he mean by all were tapped?
That we also have to clarify.
If he ordered these suspects to be wiretapped, did he wait for a court order before giving this instruction?
I'm sure that being a lawyer, he was operating within bounds of legality.
Okay. And sir, going on to the plan of Senator Antonio Trillanes to file criminal and administrative charges against Asik Mo Kauson, any reaction from the palace?
Well, he's free to do so.
And sir, third question from me. Because the Vice President was again not invited to the LEDAC 2 nights ago, I think. And it's the second time already that she wasn't invited. She was only asked to send a position paper. Does this mean that this will be a long-term policy of the administration to not invite the Vice President to the LEDAC meetings, even if she is a member of the LEDAC?
It simply means that she was not there in the second meeting. Thank you.
But sir, she was not invited. The Malacanang would have invited her.
I would not say that's policy.
So it's not
I
a
would
long-term
not say it's policy.
So it's possible for her to be invited in the future.
All I'm saying is that at this stage, it's not policy. It's not stated. You know.
Okay. Because in the law, the Vice President is a member of the LEDAC, and the LEDAC Council is supposed to meet regularly. So,
Correct. So all I'm saying at this stage is that she was not there for the second meeting.
all right.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Joseph Parang, you have question? MPC question? Tina Mendez.
Sir, good morning. Once and for all, can you please...
Once and for all.
Once and for all, can you please clarify the trip of Madam Hanilet Avancenia to New
I
York?
imagine I already said it once and for all yesterday, that she was invited, she received an invitation to attend an event given by, hosted by the First Lady of the United States, and that she went on a personal capacity.
Sir, why on a personal capacity when we know that she is duly recognized as a presidential spouse and that the invitation came from the First Lady of the United States?
They chose to act within those parameters.
Why?
Why not?
But sir, it's an official function as spouse of the
Ma'am, it
president.
was, by the way, I have to call you out on that. I did not say it was a formal invitation. It was an invitation, okay? It was an invitation coming from, I believe it was a side event.
Whether it's a side event or the main event, sir, is an invitation
It was.
from
That's
the
right.
United
Okay.
States.
Yes. But it was not a formal invitation to attend a UNGA.
There was no mention that it was a formal invitation sa UNGA, sir.
Yes.
But by the First Lady of the
So what is your
United
question
States.
now?
What's the difference that you are
It was a
classifying
personal
it as
choice.
a personal trip
Yes, it was
and not an official one as spouse of the president?
Okay, as far as I know, she was not part of the list of contingent, okay? As far as I know. I may be wrong regarding that matter, but as far as I know, she was not part of the list of contingent, the contingent.
Okay, thank you, Tina. Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, following on that, so kung pumunta siya doon on her personal capacity, it means that she paid for everything for the trip.
I assume that she was, that would include, it's just an assumption, that when she went on a personal capacity, I cannot categorically say, but I'm simply assuming that that includes paying for her own fare.
Pero sir, on the video that was taken of her dun sa New York, it was clear that she was being attended to by members of the PSG. So if personal capacity yun, sir, why are there PSG attending to her?
I suppose she was being given port courtesy. Usually people of a certain stature are also given port courtesy without having to spend for them. For example, if you're a cabinet official, you go to the States, the local, what do you call it? The local consulate will usually attend to you.
Is that policy, sir, for
Ma'am, that's called port courtesy.
even for personal trips?
If you are an official and you're there, usually this is mine. It's usually extended as a courtesy.
So yung mga guards niya, sir, came from the consulate or hindi po nanggaling dito,
I cannot
sir?
answer you on that. We can find out.
Okay, thank you, Pia. Rose Novinaria. Follow-up question. Okay, Marisa Lalini.
Sir, good
Yes, ma'am.
morning. Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
just a few clarification. Yung tungkol dun sa PSG, so who paid for their...
I said I will clarify.
Okay, pero sir, clarification din, what particular event did Hanelet Avancenia attend?
As far as I know, it was an event hosted by the First Lady
Alright.
for other First Ladies.
And sir, yung sinakyan nila na I think it's limousine, who also paid for that, sir?
We can find out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
It can have been provided by the consulate.
Sir, when did the First Lady invite Miss Hanelet?
I don't have the actual invitation on hand, but I have the Viber picture of it. We can find out.
But may we know the details? Like, did the First Lady call Miss Hanelet for the invitation? Or?
We can find out about these niceties that you want to find out.
Sir, ano yung Viber picture that...
Of the invitation.
all right. So,
Yes, there
written
is.
invitation. Sir, penge.
Thank you, Maricel. Rose Novinario.
Secret.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, sa 36th session ng United Nations Human Rights Council, nanawagan muli yung European Union sa Philippine government na imbestigahan lahat ng pagpatay, na lahat ng naganap na patayan sa panahong isinulong ang drug war mula day 1 po ng Duterte administration. Ano po yung pahayag dito ng
Ma'am,
pahayag?
sa simula't sapol, hindi ba, even without the call of the UN, we have already said that we are looking into those matters.
So ongoing po yung probe.
As far as we can say, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Laila Salaveria.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you said yesterday the protests were an opportune time for those in government to hear the voices of the governed. What message did Malacanang take away from the mass actions yesterday?
Well, for the action yesterday, first and foremost, we'd like to thank the public for making the first National Day of Protest generally peaceful and orderly. There were no untoward incidents. And also, most of the discourse was regarding people's issues, and most of it was not regarding personalities. So the focus of yesterday's rallies were a significant development, which sort of elevated the quality of public discourse in the country. In other words, it was, aside from a small group that burned effigies, it was basically issue-oriented. So good governance, as we all know it, is a two-way process. And as we demand good leaders, we must likewise show that we're good citizens as well. This message was clearly sent across and heard by everyone. I believe people cooperated along that line. And that's our takeaway.
Okay.
Sir, isa lang.
Yes, ma'am.
There was also a pro-administration or pro-Duterte rally at Plaza Miranda. Were you satisfied with how it was?
I wasn't there, actually. I didn't,
Hindi nyo napanood, sir.
I just saw some clippings of it. I don't know if you're calling me, if you ask me if I satisfied. I know these were, I think people were venting their sympathies.
Follow-up.
Yes,
Follow-up. Rose Novinario.
Sir, may mga reports po na hahakot daw po yung mga nagpunta doon sa pro-Duterte rally at may ilan daw pong opisyal ng gobyerno yung naghakot para magkaroon ng warm bodies po doon sa pro-Duterte rally. Ano po yung masasabi natin dito?
Like I said, I'm not familiar with the process that happened.
follow-up or other issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Pia?
Yusek, the palace has also held the narrative that it's only a small group of Filipinos who oppose the drug war and a majority support it. The protest yesterday where thousands showed
The
up, does
narrative, by
this
the way,
challenge the narrative?
excuse me, the narrative, by the way, is supported by the survey, right? That most people, I think about a high of 82% as of the last, most people in general understand and sympathize with the moves of the government. So I think it's not just a narrative, it's actually based on fact.
So does the palace limit itself to surveys and listening to the public and knowing the sentiment of the public? How about protests like yesterday? Doesn't the palace also consider the show of forces of protesters
Of course,
as a
it
way
was-
to gauge public sentiment about the drug war?
No, in fact, it was called the National Day of Protest. In other words, the palace recognizes that there are different voices, and it's quite open. Again, and even in fact, I think we need to appreciate the fact that the president himself said to the police, to the armed forces, to distance themselves. In other words, to let people express themselves. I think that's one of the things we can actually take away.
So the palace considers the message of the protesters yesterday. They were demanding for a stop to the drug war, or at least to put an end to impunity of police forces.
To
So
put an end to?
supposed impunity
To put an
of
end to?
police forces.
Impunity. Like I said, in the response, even before the UN and even before yesterday's meetings, there were already there's already been investigations going on. These matters are being looked into. The president, the administration is not just waiting. It's not just in a reactive mode. It's actually in quite a proactive mode. It's a little bit slow, of course, considering they're dealing with the bureaucracies, but there is a healthy response to these matters.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, can we get more details on Secretary Salalima's offer to resign from the cabinet, sir?
I think it was given 2 weeks ago, like you said, and I think the key word there was delicadeza, delicadeza, and but like you said, he used to work with another IT company. Okay, so to avoid, I think to avoid being misconstrued, I think he submitted his resignation.
So, bakit ngayon lang, sir? Considering na
Maybe the
ilang months na siya.
revelation, maybe he was enlightened recently.
Pero si President Duterte, is he inclined to accept his resignation?
I think he said he did yesterday.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he said that in Marami.
Okay.
Kay Ma'am Marasigan, Ma'am, na-cancel yung National Earthquake Drill kahapon. So, can we get details kung kailan and ano pang details?
Yeah, it was postponed, yesterday, kasi there was a call for no classes towards the government. So we rescheduled it to ensure the maximum participation of our students and our communities. It is set to be done on September 27, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The pilot area would still be in Bacoor City for the nationwide drill. And there are also other communities which will be doing the drill. Remember, this is a nationwide activity, so there will be other areas in the entire country which will be doing the drill.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
before
you.
we end,
Okay, Tina Mendez.
yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
pahapon.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
sabi ng Pangulo kahapon kagabi sa Marawi, ililift niya yung martial law in Mindanao pagka tapos na yung clearing operations.
Opo.
Sir, what's your understanding? Malilift na ba ito bago sa hanggang extended deadline ng December 31, even before that, pwedeng i-lift ng Pangulo?
Ma'am, I would rather not speculate on when. But the President himself has said that is his intention. So I'd like to go by his intention.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Tina.
I'd just like to end with on the Horacio Castillo III hazing. We strongly condemn the senseless killing of Horacio Castillo III. Government agencies are now conducting an investigation on the matter. End of statement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Thank you, OCD Spokesperson Romina.
Hindi ko sila nakita at ang nakakita sila are personnel of the Manila Homicide. And aside from that, wala akong nabasang statement. So I cannot confirm. I cannot make any statement about them considering that I will be announcing a statement only that is factual.
Sir, as per ano na lang, sir, as per report sa inyo ng homicide, ano daw sinabi sa kanila na purpose kung bakit sila napapunta sa homicide?
Well, as per report ng homicide, no, isa siya dun sa nasa video na pinesent noong Manila Police District. And they are denying that he is one of the persons na ipresent doon sa video. Alam naman natin that we are on the process of evaluating evidences. And the subject of the manhunt operation is John Paul Solano. So, very, very clear. The Manila Police District is very clear that the subject of the manhunt operation is John Paul Solano. So, definitely, if he will be issuing a statement that he is not the person representing the video doon sa in the video, well, it's a good development for the Manila Police District, considering that the real subject of the manhunt operation is Mr. John Paul Solano.
Pero sir, nangangambay yung mga, kung sakali mang hindi sila yun, no? Parang nangangamba kasi
Well,
sila sa buhay nila na...
Well, wala po silang dapat ipangamba dahil the Manila Police District is very sure that the subject of the manhunt operation is only yung pinangalanan naming suspect, Mr. John Paul Solano, Mr. Antonio Tranja, and Mr. Ralph Tranja. Other possible suspects are being evaluated for the degree of their participation, if they are accomplice, or if they are an accessory, or if they are a principal suspect of the said incident.
Pero sir, hindi ba nagka-cast ng doubt yun sa investigation natin? Kasi iba yung tao.
Well, ang investigation process po, no, we are evaluating, we are reviewing, we are assessing. Kaya nga, just like what we have told you before, that we are very cautious in naming or in presenting any evidence that will bungle the conduct of present investigation sa pagkamatay ni Mr. Horacio Castillo III. So, we are very cautious sa mga ipepresent namin sa inyo. And just like what I've said before, what we are presenting are coming from verified, reliable sources. If somebody wants to dispute the video that we presented, of course, these are their rights. And we would like to emphasize that the only suspects na inisyuan po namin ng manhunt operation is John Paul Solano, Ralph Tranja, and of course, Mr. Antonio Tranja. Yun po yung name of suspect na aming binigyan nung manhunt operations order. So kung hindi naman po sila si John Paul Solano, si Mr. Antonio Tranja, and Mr. Ralph Tranja, ano po yung ating ikakatakot? Wala po tayong dapat ikatakot.
So nakatulong ba yung paglutang?
Well, definitely. Because they are disputing the video na present na hindi nga sila si John Paul Solano.
Pero kung kayo ba yung tatanungin, sir, dapat hindi nyo muna pinresent yung CCTV noong Wednesday?
Well, definitely, no, I cannot answer that based on my personal answer.
Sir, ilan sir yung lumutang para i-dispute na?
Well, wala ako, no. I don't have their statement considering na hindi ko po sila nakita. Anymore?
Sir, pasensya na yung napag-usapan na naman natin. Ito, yung convo, di ba, nabasa natin yung nasa Facebook page. Ano yung implication nito? Halimbawa, yung deactivate yung account at saka kinocontrol, nag-iisa lang si Acho that time.
Well, I have said it a lot of times, no, that we are evaluating in informal messages or informal information. We are overwhelmed by the support coming from the netizen about the information doon sa nangyaring insidente kay Mr. Horacio Castillo III. At meron pong process yung ating cybercrime evidence. So, meron po tayong process na sinusunod dito po sa anti-cybercrime group sa Camp Crame. We are presenting to them evidences na pwede nilang i-review. So, yun po yung ating mga ginagawang steps para maging mas matibay po yung kasong ipa-file natin sa korte. Kasi there are messages na hindi naman pwede nating paniwalaang lahat. Because in the course of an investigation or in filing a case in court, they will be assessing or evaluating the degree of evidence that we will be presenting. If we will come up with an evidence na hindi po authenticated, validated, or verified, definitely, malaki po yung magiging turn of events sa kasong ipinal po natin sa korte. Kaya nga, just like what I've said before, we are very much cautious. Considering that this is a celebrated case, a sensational case, the Manila Police District under our District Director, Police Chief Superintendent Joel Coronel, designated me as the only official spokesperson of the Manila Police District for a united one voice lang. Isa lang po yung statement na ibibigay ng Manila Police District. Kaya po masyado po kaming maingat.
Sir, sa persons of interest, may nakikita na ba kayo doon na possible pa na maging suspect doon sa mga persons of interest?
Well, meron na po mga possible suspect doon. Kaya lang, just like what I've said, we will not name names. Consider that we are still on a hot pursuit operation. A hot pursuit operation is a circumstance where we can arrest a person without a warrant. That is generally a circumstance na pwede natin gamitin kahit na wala po tayong warrant of arrest. Yung doctrine of hot pursuit po, ano po yan, legitimate po yan.
Sir, how are you going to prepare sa Senate hearing sa Monday?
Well, definitely, naka-receive lang tayo ng invitation and we will be attending the invitation coming po dun sa hearing sa Senate. And magpe-prepare po tayo ng mga documents na pwede po nating i-present in case na i-request po nila tayo na magbigay ng statement doon po sa isinasagawang investigasyon sa pagkamatay ni Mr. Horacio Castillo III.
Pero sir, talagang mag-isa lang si Horacio na.
Well, meron po tayong update sa ngayon, no? Ang update po natin, the latest update ay nakakuha po tayo ng statement ng dalawang testigo natin stating in their statement that meron pong, there is a possibility na yung isang lugar, yun yung pwedeng pinagganapan ng final rites ng fraternity hazing kay Mr. Horacio Castillo III. Pero sa ngayon, we will not reveal the identity of those two witnesses because we are still conducting a follow-up operation at pinababantayan na po natin yung lugar at meron po tayong mga legal procedures pang gagawin. And kapag may latest update na po tayo, wag po kayong mag-alala. Everybody is welcome for a press con at we will not hide any information from you. Hindi po kami magtatago sa inyo at di-disclose lang po namin yung mga tamang informasyon na inyong kakailanganin. Kaya kami po ay humihingi ng paumanhin kung may mga informasyon po kaming hindi namin pwedeng i-disclose kaagad, considering that we are still on the conduct of a follow-up investigation and operation.
But sir, are you pressured now dahil sa, yun nga, it's a sensation?
Well, we are not pressured. It is a challenge for the whole force of the Manila Police District to give justice sa pagkamatay ni Mr. Horacio Castillo III. Ang karangalan po ng Manila's finest ang nakataya po rito. Kaya we are challenged na masolve po namin itong kasong ito. At sana po ay tulungan nyo kami para magkaisa po tayo na bigyan natin ng hustisya yung pagkamatay ni Mr. Horacio Castillo III.
Sir, baka naman mapan lang yung,
Okay.
yung kwento lang nung dalawang witness. Mag-isa lang talaga si Horacio na sumalang sa initiation.
Well, hindi po natin pwedeng ibigay ang statement na yan considering na hindi ko pa po nababasa yung statement.
Sir, are they the two
Pardon?
witnesses? Are they the two witnesses who went to DOJ?
Well, wala po akong report tungkol po dun sa DOJ. Ang alam ko pong nakitang news release kanina sa DOJ that there are two members of Aegis Juris Fraternity communicating with our DOJ Secretary Aguirre. That is the only information that I know. Thank you very much. At maraming salamat. Bukas po uli. Kung may wala na.
Sir, nag-vlogging ka na bukas. Sabado.
Ang inyo pong napanood ay press conference ng Manila Police District. Si spokesman Superintendent Erwin Margarejo, sinabi niya po na meron ngang dalawang tao na pumunta sa MPD Homicide Division para sabihin na hindi raw sila yung makikita doon sa CCTV videos na inirelease ng MPD na kasama po itong si Horacio Castillo III na sinasabing umano'y biktima ng hazing ng Aegis Juris Fraternity. Wala na pong ibang detalye na ibinigay si Margarejo tungkol doon sa dalawang pumunta sa MPD. Pero sinabi rin niya na meron pang dalawa naman na mga testigo na nagbigay na rin daw ng pahayag sa pulisya at sinasabi ng dalawang testigong ito na posibleng alam na daw nila yung lugar kung saan naganap ang initiation rites, ang posibleng hazing dito kay Castillo. Pinababantayan na ng MPD ang nasabing lugar pero may mga sinasagawa pa raw silang mga legal procedures kaugnay nito. Iginiit din naman ni Margarejo na sa ngayon ang tinututukan at tinuturing na pangunahing suspect dito sa pagkamatay ni Horacio Castillo III ay yung sina John Paul Solano, Antonio Trangia at Ralph Trangia. Nagsasagawa ng manhunt operations para dito sa tatlo. Pero yung iba raw na nandoon sa listahan ng mga persons of interest, ini-evaluate pa ng MPD yung kanilang mga naging papel dito nga sa pagkamatay ni Castillo. Posible raw kasi na meron sa mga ito ay maituring na rin na main suspect o kaya yung mga accomplices o accessory to the crime. Ang ginigit po ni Margarejo ay gusto nilang maging maingat at masusing mapag-aralan yung mga ebidensya tungkol sa kaso. Pero ang sinasabi rin niya, yung mga inilabas nila na CCTV videos, mula daw yan sa mga verified at reliable sources. At kung meron daw gustong mag-dispute o kumontra doon sa mga inilabas nila sa videos, pwede raw silang lumapit sa MPD para magpaliwanag tungkol dito. Ginigit din ni Margarejo na yung mga pupunta na sa MPD na sinasabing hindi sila yung nandoon sa video, wala daw dapat ikatakot yung mga ibang tao na posibleng masangkot dito sa krimen. Basta't sa ngayon daw, ang tinututukan niya kasi nilang mga suspects ay 3 po lamang. Sinabi rin niya na sa gitna ng pagkalat ng ilang mga messages sa Facebook na sinasabi conversation ng mga miyembro ng Aegis Juris tungkol doon sa gabing nangyari nga itong initiation rites ay sinusuri at ini-evaluate rin daw ng MPD kahit na maituturing ito ng mga informal na impormasyon o informal messages. Sinasabi rin niya na meron daw kasing mga proseso na kailangang sundin patungkol sa pagsusuri ng cybercrime evidence. Magbabalik po tayo makalipas ang ilang paalala. Kayo po ay nasa CNN Philippines. Going po tayo sa FB Live. Kani-kanina lang ay napanood nyo yung press conference ng Manila Police District. Tungkol po yan dun sa update dun sa pagkamatay ni Horacio Castillo III dahil umano sa hazing. Sinasabi nila na may ilang mga lumutang na personalidad na nagbigay ng information tungkol dito sa kaso. Meron dyan na sinasabi nila na hindi sila yung nandun sa video na nilabas, yung CCTV video. Kasi di ba may inilabas yung MPD na makikita nyo naglalakad sa may kalsada na sinasabi sila Castillo daw at si Solano na naka-uniform pa sila. So may information tungkol dyan. Meron ding mga lumutang na mga testigo na nagbigay din ng information na posibleng in-identify na yung lugar kung saan nangyari yung initiation rites nitong Aegis Juris Fraternity. So patuloy namin kayong bibigyan ng update tungkol dyan. Hindi naka-on yung ano ko eh. Yung Facebook ko eh. Roger Perona Enriquez, may mga suggestions siya, i-DNA na daw yung kaso para mas malaman. Si Gabriel Camposano, si Bonay Villarreal Mendoza, Jaja Cortez. Kani-kanina lamang po ay nagkaroon ng press conference ang Manila Police District. Nagbigay ng update tungkol sa kaso ni Horacio Castillo III na umano'y namatay sa hazing. Balikan natin ang bahagi ng press conference ng MPD.
Well, basically, yung bumisita kanina, no, inaantay natin yung kanyang statement. Anyway, meron naman siyang kasamang abogado at saka natin sasagutin yung kanyang statement once na nabasa na natin yung kanyang statement. Kasi sandali lang siya nagpunta eh. So, hindi natin alam yung kanyang identity.
Siguro, sir, ano na lang, sir? Can you confirm sila ba yung tao doon sa...
Well, I cannot confirm considering na wala tayong, hindi ko sila nakita at ang nakakita sila are personnel of the Manila homicide. And aside from that, wala akong nabasang statement. So, I cannot confirm. I cannot make any statement about them considering that I will be announcing a statement only that is factual.
Sir, as per report sa inyo ng homicide, ano daw sinabi sa kanila na purpose kung bakit sila napapunta sa homicide?
Well, as per report ng homicide, no, isa siya dun sa nasa video na pinesent noong Manila Police District. And they are denying that he is one of the persons na ipresent doon sa video. Alam naman natin that we are on the process of evaluating evidences. And the subject of the manhunt operation is John Paul Solano. So, very, very clear. The Manila Police District is very clear that the subject of the manhunt operation is John Paul Solano. So definitely, if he will be issuing a statement that he is not the person representing the video doon sa in the video, well, it's a good development for the Manila Police District, considering that the real subject of the manhunt operation is Mr. John Paul Solano.
Pero sir, nangangambay yung mga, kung sakaling mang hindi sila yun, no? Parang nangangamba kasi
Well,
sila sa buhay nila na...
Well, wala po silang dapat ipangamba dahil the Manila Police District is very sure that the subject of the manhunt operation is only yung pinangalanan naming suspect, Mr. John Paul Solano, Mr. Antonio Tranja, and Mr. Ralph Tranja. Other possible suspects are being evaluated for the degree of their participation, if they are accomplice, or if they are an accessory, or if they are a principal suspect of the said incident.
Pero sir, hindi pa
Yan po ang update mula sa Manila Police District kaugnay sa kaso ng pagkamatay ng UST Law student na si Horacio Castillo III. Sinabi nga po ng MPD na may mga lumutang na ilang personalidad nagbigay ng impormasyon tungkol doon sa CCTV video na kuha kina Castillo at pati na yung posibleng lugar kung saan ginanap itong initiation rites na sinasabing kinamatay ni Castillo, yung hazing dyan sa initiation rites ng Aegis Juris. Patuloy pong tumutok dito sa CNN Philippines. Ako si Ruth Cabal. Magandang tanghali.